In this video, we're going to go over a unit circle with terminal points. And if these radians in the first quadrant and terminal points from the first quadrants are given, or you know how to fill them out, you can fill the rest of the unit circle. But basically, you're going to first reflect it over the y-axis and just copy paste what you have in the first quadrant to the other side. So if I copy and paste by reflecting over the y-axis, I'm going to have pi over 3, and then half comma radical 3 over 2. Pi over 4, radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2, and then pi over 6, radical 3 over 2, half. Now I'm going to reflect it over the x-axis and copy and paste what we have in the second quadrant. That will be pi over 6, the radical 3 over 2 comma half, pi over 4, radical 2 over 2, radical 2 over 2, pi over 3, half comma radical 3 over 2. And lastly, you can reflect it over the y-axis or reflect it over the x-axis. Doesn't matter. You're going to get the same, you're going to copy them, the same radians and terminal points from those quadrants. So we're going to look at our first quadrant. And for the first quadrant, we know that we have positive x, positive y. Second quadrant, we have negative x values and positive y values. But we're going to negate all the x terminal points. And for third quadrant, we know that we have negative x and negative y values. So we're going to negate all the terminal points for both x and y. For fourth quadrant, we know we have positive x and negative y values. So we're going to negate only negative terminal points, negative values of terminal points. Now let's fix our radians. For radians, we know that second quadrant is less than pi. So what we're going to do is pi minus pi over 6, pi minus pi over 4, pi minus pi over 3, or what you can do is just 1 less than the denominator. So 3 minus 1 gives us 2, 4 minus 1 gives us 3, 6 minus 1 gives us 5. So these are your radians and terminal points for your second quadrant. Now for this third quadrant, it's pi plus pi over 6 much, and then pi plus pi 4, pi plus pi over 3. So I'm going to do denominator plus 1. So it'll be 7 pi over 6, 5 pi over 4, and then lastly 3 plus 1 gives you 4. So I'm going to put 4 pi over 3. For the fourth quadrant, it's not fully double, but less than that, right? So for, if you look at 6, it's not 12 pi over 6 much. It's 12 pi over 6 minus pi over 6. So I'm going to double the denominator and subtract 1. 6 times 2 is 12 minus 1 gives me 11. And 4 times 2 is 8 minus 1 is 7. 3 times 2 is 6 minus 1 is 5. So if you want to write it in degrees, what you can do is pi over 6 equal, we know that pi is the same thing as 180 degrees. And you can just divide it by 6, which is equal to 30. So wherever you see pi, you can replace 1 with 180. Or you can do pi over 6 times 180 per pi, right? And this will also give you 30 degrees. So we're going to have 30, 45, 60, 90, 120, 135, 150, 180, 210, 225, 240, 270, 300, 315, 330. We know that that's same thing as a 0 degree is same thing as 360 degrees, because full rotation of a circle is 360, and 0 degree and 360 degree, they both share the same terminal point, which is 1, 0.